everybody, final thoughts time for Fabled Fruit, which is a very, very clever card game, really unique, really one of a kind. And I think it's kind of a continuation of this spate of experimentation that designer Friedemann Friese has been going through for years now, going all the way back to Copycat, where he set out on the idea, can I just take a bunch of random gameplay mechanisms from really popular games and smoosh them all into one game and see what I come up with? And that's what Copycat was, where he was literally copycatting a whole bunch of other designers and giving them credit, all that. And I think maybe that sparked something in him, because then his next big game was 504, which I've done a run-through for, which was an incredibly mad scientist-style experiment of a game where every time you play, you mix and match 3 different pages of this multi-page flip book to get a radically different game where you mix different gameplay mechanisms together, but not in a positioned way like you've done in Copycat, but every time you play, you might get something that's majors in worker placement and minors in area control with a smidge of a stock market or whatever, or completely mixed around. And now he's done this, where once again you've got this very modular approach to gameplay, and after you play game after game after game, and this is a very quick game, this is a 20-30 minute game, the game continues to morph and evolve as old ideas get shuffled out, get removed, and new ideas get introduced. And the game is just constantly in this ebb and flow. I love it. I love that he is doing all these really cool, interesting experiments. And I doff my cap to him, and I hope he keeps doing it because I love trying them out. Even though, as it turns out, this is once again yet another example where it seems like Friedemann Friese just doesn't have a very, very high priority set for making solid 2-player games. Don't get me wrong, this works as a 2-player game. It works better than some of his games, but still, as you can see, here I am in game 10, and there's 8 places to go on the board. With only 2 players, only one other person, you pretty much never have to pay. You can always say, oh, you're where I want to go? Okay, I'll just go there next turn because I know you're going to move. And it's never really an issue. The board is so wide open. The game is so loose. And I can imagine this game just gets better and better and better. Probably the ideal way to play this is with the full 5-player count, because then, even with a big board where you've got like 8 or 9 or 10 places you could go, with 5 people on the board, it's going to be tough getting to go where you need to go because there's always people blocking, so you'll have to pay more often and you'll have to make tougher choices. I don't want to pay. You know what? Chances are, if I just wait one more go around, nobody's going to go there again, and next time I can get in where I need to go. Can I afford to wait? Never mind the fact that so many of the powers that come out in this game are really intended to work with more players, like the Go Fish one. Playing Go Fish with only 1 player, not that interesting. Go Fish when you're fishing from everybody at the same time, that gets to be fun. So, once again, and there's what could have been so easy to do would be a series of 2-player rules. Like the simplest thing is, let's put the thief out of the way. Let's just say that in a 2-player game, you take 2 other, here's the penguin and the giraffe. At the beginning of the game, when you set up, you put one of them down in a random space, and then you, in numerical order, go 1, 2, 3, put the other one down in another space, and now these guys, they don't count as players. They never actually do anything, but just when it comes to their turn, wherever they are, they will just hopscotch over whoever they have to go to the next highest. And then, so I take my turn, and then, and then this guy comes over here, and then Jen takes her turn, and then and now it's this guy's turn. Something like that would be so simple, so that suddenly the board is tightened up, and often where I want to go, I can't go, or I can go, but again, I have to pay extra. And like I said, like that, what do you call it? The Go Fish thing. If you were to say, yeah, you know what, I could go fishing. Yeah, I hope that Jen has a strawberry. And for each of the 2 guys, well, yeah, let's go fish them and see, oh, did I find them? No, I didn't. All right, and no, I didn't. So I didn't get anything off of them. But there could have been some simple rules so that for 2 and for 3, because I have to admit, I have played this as a 3-player game as well. And pretty much everything I'm saying applies for a 3-player as well as 2. If you don't get at least 4 players into this game, you're really, really missing something. And so that's a shame, because I think with a little bit more work, this could have been made a ton better at lower player counts. But obviously, the focus for this is to play with 4 or 5 players. And if you do, you're going to have a lot more fun. Now, that said, one other thing I should say is, you got to bear in mind, this is a crazy, crazy light game. This might be the ultimate gateway game, because when you first start, you saw, when you first started, you just have the numbers, stacks 1 through 6 out. It's so easy going. This is totally a game you could teach anybody how to play instantly. It's an introduction to worker placement. I've got one worker. Where am I going to go? Oh, if you want to go where I am, you got to give me a fruit. You're trying to collect these fruits. You do these simple actions. Anybody could play it. And the thing is, it's a brilliant gateway because, okay, if they enjoyed it, well, let's play another game. Wait a minute, what's this new power? Oh no, my favorite power is gone. And as the game evolves, towards the end, I have to admit, this is about as far as I've played the game. I have not come anywhere near close to must be close to 30 games you have to play to have made it through this entire deck. But it does get richer and more complex. There are more interesting things, more interesting combinations of stuff. And so, if you start out somebody, who loves playing cards, who loves playing hearts or canasta or something like that, and you're like, well, hey, let's try Fabled Fruit, Grandma. And she, oh, well, this is a lovely game too. And you get her in, and but next thing you know, you're 10 games in, and they're playing a more complex game with a lot more interesting choices, and now they're ready to make a jump over to some other game. That's so cool. That's so smart. Again, I just have to doff my cap to Freedom and Freeze for producing something really cool and really special. I mention all that though because my issue with it is, for me and Jen, this is a gateway game, and I think it will always stay. It's a gateway or maybe gateway plus as it gets more complex. But with the lack of stronger two-player gameplay, which I think could have been addressed with a little bit more design, and the fact that it is just crazy, crazy light anyway, I don't think it's for me and Jen. We're not looking for more gateways, but if I were back home, this would be this would be a fantastic game to play with my mom. This would be a great way to introduce her to games. I would absolutely love it. I've also heard that this is a phenomenal game to play at lunch breaks with your coworkers at work, because you're going to get a game done in like a half an hour at the absolute most. It's a fun, quick game. There's, it's simple, it's straightforward, and there's a lot of interaction, a lot of stealing from each other, a lot of that kind of interesting stuff. So I think it would draw a lot of people in. It's got colorful, charming art. Every time a new animal comes out, every time a new power gets added to the game, there's a lot of excitement. So on the whole, it's a great, great game. Don't get me wrong. Just unfortunately not one for me and Jen, and that's too bad. But doesn't mean it doesn't respect it, and hopefully the run-through, even with all my little goofs here and there, has given you a pretty good idea of what the game feels like to play so you can decide whether it's right for you and yours. Because that's all I'm trying to do here, folks. It doesn't matter what Jen and I think. Decide for yourself based on the run-through if it looks like fun. And that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Now, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll have a very, very nice day. Talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye-bye.